what you have any specific topic that you want me to do for all of you. And he said, just pick anything. And so I thought about it. I thought since we are uh, a gathering of leaders, and thought about what can I do to give something hopefully is unique and hopefully is new and interesting to all of you. I thought about uh, this thing. So let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, bro.
Okay. So what you see the Avengers screen. So who among us here does not know this movie at all and any of the characters showing? Basically, who among you have not really have any chance to watch any uh, Marvel movie up to this time? Can I have a show of reactions on the Zoom, like thumbs up or thumbs down, just so to let me know that you have no idea what this is.
Brad, mas gusto ko Wonder Woman.
Okay. So for those of you, for the benefit of those who have no idea at all about this movie and the characters in it, just a brief intro. This is the Marvel movies, which is a collection of Marvel superheroes, as you can see, that exists in the Marvel cinematic universe. They are based on characters that first appeared in an American comic books, of course, published by no other than Marvel Comics. So, who among you have an idea here, but have not seen the actual Avengers Endgame movie? If you have not seen it but has planned to watch it eventually, well, I apologize in advance. Sorry to say that there will be plenty of spoilers information here. The movie was released back in April 26, 2019, which makes it more than 2 years now. So technically, I am not breaking any of the unwritten no spoilers rule by now. But why are we about to talk about this movie? Now, obviously, the movie is intended for entertainment purposes and is nothing but a work of fiction. Uh, Hopefully, it may be surprising to know for all of you that there are plenty of leadership lessons that we can take uh, from this uh, from this movie. So we will take a look at 20 leadership lessons from the Avengers Endgame. Number one, learning from mistakes. Uh, if you don't know the guy on the screen, that is Thor, the god of thunder from the planet Asgard. In Avengers Infinity War, Thor has a chance to stop Thanos for good, but only wounded him with the Stormbreaker. The Stormbreaker is that huge, awesome looking, mighty axe that Thor is carrying on the picture. And yet, when he had a chance, he hit Thanos only with the axe on the chest. At that point, Thanos sarcastically shares with Thor that he should have gone for the head. This insight from Thanos is away at Thor for years. So the decision he made to wound and not kill Thanos virtually consumes him. And in the Endgame movie, when given the opportunity again, Thor does not hesitate. He went for the head, thus killing Thanos. Brothers and sisters, leadership is about making decisions, and oftentimes, many, all of us uh, will make mistakes. So you and I are not exempted, regardless of how we have been sort quote unquote leaders, regardless of how we have been with CFC for a long times. Decisions that needs to be made at times, we will be making mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. The question is, can we learn from this mistake and become better persons because of them? Brothers and sisters, mistakes are incredible teachers. When we try to decide who can we assign as new household leaders, or who can, or when we're forming CLP teams, we may make mistakes. Allow yourselves to make mistakes, but please learn from them. Number two, strategic use of information. On this picture, we see Dr. Strange. He is the holder of the time stone that allows him to go back or forward in time. At the end of Infinity War, no, Dr. Strange told Tony during the battle uh, of at the planet of Thanos. He told Tony that he went back, or he went forward to 14,605,000 possible futures, and he only saw one of them where they can win. That's the only thing he told Iron Man at that time. Talk about a cliffhanger. Doctor Strange, wielding the time stone, was able to see all the possible potential futures, and then again, there was only one of that specific future where they can win. They will get victory over Thanos. At the Endgame movie, during the epic battle at the end, when Thanos has intercepted the uh, the gauntlet where the Infinity Stones were there, and at this time he will be able to snap his finger again to undo what the Avengers have done. Strange looked at Tony Stark, at Iron Man, and he pointed his pointing finger. He raised his pointing finger, reminding Tony that there is only one scenario where they will win. Earlier, actually, Tony asked him, "Is this that future that he saw, where they will win?" But Doctor Strange refused to reveal it to Tony because he said if he told him at that time, it would not happen. Brothers and sisters, the thing to learn from here is that using information strategically can lead to better engagement and help our members to grow within their comfort zones. Keeping information for yourself and totally not sharing it to your members, that's even worse and prevents them from getting empowered at times. Now, how many times have we heard from our members the reason why they did not attend a meeting or a teaching? Oh, they say, I did not know there was one. I did not get the message. Number four, or number three, sorry. Your title does not mean you are a leader. In this picture, we see the new Thor after 5 years uh, of that ending game in Infinity War. After Ragnarok, Asgard was gone. After Thanos in Infinity War, we actually did not know if any Asgardians were left alive. In Endgame, we see that some Asgardians have in fact survived and they are rebuilding on Earth. But Thor, the rightful leader, is nowhere to be found. Now, the Asgardians still look to Thor for leadership because he was their king, but he was no longer fulfilling that role. He had abandoned his responsibilities and was holed up playing Fortnite, intimidating Noob Master 69 and other 12-year-olds online. Leadership lesson. Positional power only gets you so far. Effective transformational leadership happens with people, and real leadership is hard work. With or without a title, your actions determines whether you are a leader. We know this. We can serve without any designation, whether we are household leaders, unit leaders, chapter leaders, or coordinators. We are able to continue to serve if we really want to. Number 5, don't fear the self-empowered by Valkyrie. Now, while Thor was obsessing about his mistake, not killing Thanos, and thus sulking about it, Valkyrie was leading New Asgard. She was making sure that the day-to-day necessities of life and survival were taken care of. Now, it appears that she has empowered herself. She saw what is needed to be done, and she did it. Again, the important leadership lesson here is simply to not interfere when our members are effective and getting stuff done. No, Thor could have thrown his title around, but she was getting results. Many leaders find it intimidating when someone from their team, or more importantly below them, uh, have empowered themselves to get things done. This is a good thing, brothers and sisters, but only if you are secure with your role. Number 5, not everyone is cut out to lead. Probably one of the most unexpected scenes in Endgame occurred at Thor's house. Now we find him out of shape, unshaven, probably unwashed, with Korg, as you can see on the picture, playing Fortnite. Korg, Korg, as you can see, was a would-be rabble-houser and rebellion leader. Not to mention, he is 8 foot tall, a man made of stone. But in this scene, he was being bullied by what we can only assume was a child, and he needed Thor to handle the situation. The lesson, brothers and sisters, even though Korg looked like he could have been a leader, he did not have the temperament for leadership. If he could not stand up to Noob Master, who was a 12-year-old child playing Fortnite with him online, how can he stand up to Hulk or Captain Marvel? Brothers and sisters, sometimes our unconscious bias peg one person for leadership and disqualify another. Consider your respective members and think about who are your aspiring leaders. Make sure that when you think about who you would like to raise as household leaders or further, make sure that your decision is based on actions and not only on appearance. Number 6, good ideas can come from anyone. Again, in this picture, if you don't know him, he is Ant-Man. And Ant-Man is the class clown among the Avengers. Now, he is an ex-convict who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He doesn't have any natural abilities and isn't really the brightest bulb in the pack. That said, it is this guy who came up with the grand plan to undo the snap of destiny, which actually he called the time heist. Lesson here is to leverage all of your members, even the ones you think or you don't think highly with another one. No, with enough encouragement, motivation, teaching, and training, everyone on our team is competent and capable. Now, it's easy to focus on the high performers. Now that's natural because we have uh, we have proven that they are reliable and that we can depend on them. But if we just focus on them, we can miss out on ideas, insights, and solutions from other members within our group. Now, part of your leadership responsibility is to help everyone on your household unit chapter to give them the opportunity to give out their uh, their opinions, their ideas. It is your job to help them grow and develop. Just think of it as brainstorming where there are no bad ideas and some of your people might surprise you. Number 7, treat your people well. At the beginning of the movie, as the Avengers have Thanos contained, he tells them that he has destroyed the stones. They don't want or cannot believe that the stones are gone. And so, as they press Thanos for more information, Nebula says her father is many things, but a liar he is not. In this moment, Thanos realized all too late that he should have treated Nebula better. After all, Nebula is now on the other side trying to undo his work. Thanos was a ruthless, tyrannical leader, and it caught up with him. Brothers and sisters, again, we need to treat our fellow brothers and sisters well. No? They are not here to work for you, to work for us, or to serve us. They are not here so that we can lord it over them. They are here out of their voluntary decision, out of their personal choice, so that they can work and serve with us. So we need to become sometimes their team, their cheerleaders and motivators. No, we've heard the nice phrase, people does not care what you know until they know that you care. Number 8, big vision matters. Again, coming from Thanos. No, leadership requires vision. And we all know that Thanos had many flaws in his plan, but he did have a grand vision. Steve Jobs famously said he wanted to make a dent in the universe. Thanos actually wanted to fundamentally alter the universe. Now, as far as vision goes, that's a grand one. We all know that vision is important, is fundamental, and non-optional for us. And with a grand enough vision, we can make a dent in the universe. Our vision in Corpus for Christ is to be families in the Holy Spirit, renewing the face of the earth. Pretty big and compelling vision, don't you think? Do you really believe that we can do this and that our small group in this part of Illinois can contribute positively to this global goal? And so, brothers and sisters, as leaders, it is up to you to motivate all the members under you to look forward to that vision and join us in that journey. Now, take time to work on uh, letting them know what the plan and strategies to make so that that compelling vision is something that can be achieved by us, by our group, and that all in our group will want to be part of it. Number 9, doing the difficult jobs from Professor Holt. Now, there's a scene in the movie after the Avengers have successfully completed the time heist, where they went back in the past, they separated so that they can retrieve all the infinity stores in the past. And when they have done that, Tony Stark or Iron Man created this gauntlet where it can house all these infinity stores and harness its power. But at that point, then a decision needs to be made. to be made. Who will wear the gauntlet? Who will wear the gauntlet and snap the finger? It is now a time to decide who will build and do such a thing. This is a big job that would kill almost everyone else in the room. And so it was Thor and Professor Hulk who came forward. Hulk puts on the gauntlet and he snaps his finger. Brothers and sisters, oftentimes doing the difficult job falls to the leader. Know that there are things that anyone can do and things that you only as a leader can do. And it is your job to know the difference. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes, you don't have to do it all. Delegation is in fact an important part of working as a team and teaching and empowering others. So just make sure that you are doing the things that only you can do and not delegating them to others. You need to step up on these things. Number 10, all teams struggle, failure is an option. One of the favorite aspects of this franchise is that this team struggles. In every movie in the series, there are crises. One movie called Civil War, and it was not a reenactment. The team really had to fight among each other because of what has happened. This team is far from perfect, but they are effective mostly. They dropped the ball in Infinity War, but they kept at it together and kept working on the problem. Yes, they failed in Infinity War, but then it was obvious that failure is woven throughout the fabric of all of the Avengers stories. Stan Lee, who is the creator of this series, wanted to make the relatable characters, and failure is relatable. In every movie of the Avengers, they are pitted against unimaginable odds, and they often fail or their wins are not as complete as they would have planned. Again, brothers and sisters, the leadership lessons here are there are no perfect people and absolutely no perfect teams. Uh, Goes without saying that there are no perfect community even as in CFC. Failure is part of the growth curve. How we anticipate and respond to failure determines how much we have grown. Our members are going to fail, and how we handle their failures will define how they grow and how our unit household chapter performs in our plan to serve the Lord. Number 11, reassess often. This is by Black Widow and Captain America. There's a great scene in the beginning of Endgame with Natasha or Black Widow and Captain America after Natasha has just finished up a video call with the rest of the Avengers team. And Natasha was clearly exhausted. Not just tired, but tired of the entire 5 years ordeal of trying to fix things. She seems to have shouldered that responsibility personally. Sometime in the conversation, she shared that she's doing this job because it has to be done. Captain America makes a joke and sits with her and asks her if what she is doing actually really needed to be done. Brothers and sisters, for us, no, course corrections are part of the leadership journey. Now, just because we have started in one direction doesn't mean we need to continue in that direction, especially if the results are not there. There are no awards for most effort in the wrong direction. God allows U-turn, and it is up to us to reassess every now and then. So that's probably why we are having this meeting tonight to reassess what have we accomplished, and to reassess what have not worked and maybe plan on how to accomplish the same differently. Number 12, recognize and reward leadership. After Thanos has been defeated again, Thor acknowledged that he is no longer really interested in leading his people anymore. He recognizes that he's only the leader in title, and he willingly steps aside for Valkyrie to assume the title of King of Asgard. Brothers and sisters, for us, we need to uh, identify this scenario or recognize when such scenario has arisen. Sometimes our ego can lead us astray, no, especially in leadership roles. We need to ask ourselves, why are we leading? If your answer is more about you rather than the good of the team, the good of the community, then maybe it's time to reconsider your motivations. Number 13, not giving up on your people. After losing his family, Clint or Hawkeye went rogue. No, he was killing bad guys to restore some sense of justice and fairness to his world. No, he lost all the members of his family, and so he turned his anger towards the people that survived the snap of destiny, but he thinks were really bad and does not is not fair to be alive. No, he was cutting a bloody path across continents, and even Rhodey was disturbed by the carnage in his wake. Natasha or Black Widow never gave up on Clint, and eventually she tracked him down and brought him back to the Avengers team. It's obvious what the lesson here, brothers and sisters. Don't give up on your brothers and sisters. Now, as the leader, you have to see the best in them to bring the best out of them. Now, when they struggle or are not meeting your expectations, that's a cue for us that maybe we need to have a conversation or provide additional help and resources. Now, remember, one-on-one, that's one way that we can reach out to them to let them know that we are there, we are here to help, that we want to know what's going on, and that we care. This is one way to show it to them. Now, in CFC, no, we do not say you are fired. Number 14, leader means you cannot do it alone. At the end of the epic battle in Endgame, Captain America has fought Thanos toe to toe, but Thanos is still standing. On the other hand, Captain America looks a bit shaky. And Thanos' hordes of army have been unleashed, and they are about to systematically overrun the Earth. Cap cannot win this, he realizes, and yet he still stood strong, standing alone facing Thanos' army. And with that, he hears the Falcon saying on your left. And with that, a dozen slinging portals begin to open, with the other Avengers slowly showing up, joining the war. At this time, Captain America is no longer facing Thanos' army alone, but with an army of his own. The theater erupts at this point. Leadership lesson. If you could do it on your own, then you wouldn't need to be part of a team. And in fact, then you wouldn't need to be a leader. Since you are a leader and you have your own team, your household members or your household, your unit, etc. And if you empower your people enough to play their part, then you can continue the fight against good and evil what we are trying to do as a community. Again, with that, because even if you are really, really good, you cannot do it alone. We need to understand that we need everybody to be pulling on the same directions. Number 15, empowered people perform. During the final epic battle, the gauntlet is in the open, and as Spider-Man goes down, Captain Marvel steps in to get it to the quantum stabilizer. By way of context, Captain Marvel just flew through Thanos' battle cruiser, but as she is preparing to take the gauntlet to the gauntlet stabilizer, she is flanked and followed by all the female Avengers. They offer to help clear the path. No one told them what to do. They just saw what is needed to be done and they did it. Now, this is the girl power moment in the movie where many in the theater again erupts uh, in uh, in gladness. Leadership lesson: your primary role is to get uh, people to be empowered and to make sure that they are clear of their responsibility and then get out of their way. Empowering them is pretty much that simple. Now, in the military, there is the concept of commander's intent. Once everyone knows the desired outcome, they are freed up to do what it takes to achieve the mission. Free up your brothers and sisters in your household unit chapter and uh, let them grow, let them be empowered. 16, leadership growth curve. When we are introduced to Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 and Avengers 1, we met a classic narcissist. Tony was Bruce, had bushel baskets of issues. Now he described himself as someone who doesn't play well with others. He is a genius, millionaire, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. And yet contrast that to the Tony Stark that we met in Endgame, that is now a mature family man, settled, content, and a team player. Lessons to be learned. Brothers and sisters, we need to be better person than we were 10 years ago. I'll give you a minute to think about this, about you. Leadership development is as much about your character as it is about techniques, methodologies, and motivation. Number 17, succession planning. At the very end of the movie, we see Captain America sitting on a bench, having stayed longer than anticipated in the past. He returns an old man. He talks briefly about the life he led with the second chance, and then the Falcon asks about his shield. Cap brings it out of a case and asks Falcon to try it on. Falcon says it feels like it is someone else's. Captain America then gives his shield to him, and in so doing, passes the baton. If we have, if we know about what's going on, the Falcon now is the new Captain America. Part of our role as leader is to prepare others to become leaders. Some of the strongest, most resilient organizations have bench strength. If you left today, did we make the bench stronger or weaker? Now, this is very much applicable in our life in CFC. Now, as we lead, we need to be always in the lookout for the next person who can step up to become the next household leaders. Now, if the Lord sends us 100 participants to our next CLP, are we ready to pastor the new brothers and sisters that will be added to our numbers? Number 18, everyone knows their roles. Throughout the movies, the roles were clear. The character grew in their powers, had tremendous character arcs, but they always knew what they did best. Hulk smashes, Thor never tried to override Tony. Banner never picked up a bow and arrow. Everyone understood that Captain America was the leader and no one really challenged him of that. For us, we need to ensure that our members know their roles so that they can work and serve well together. Now, this is pretty much applicable when we are forming our service, our CLP team, our mission team. As leaders, we need to be able to define each member's roles and allow them to run with it. Number 19, leadership is relationship. We knew that Natasha and Clint were tight, but when they arrived at Vormir, it became more apparent that they had a very deep friendship. It was their relationship that kept Natasha looking for Clint and that found him in Japan. They cared so deeply for each other that each one of them was willing to sacrifice their life so that the others may live and retrieve the soul stone. Again, for us, the lesson would be our team members, uh, they don't have to mean as much to you as Natasha and Clint meant to each other, but your relationship with them is very important. Gone are the days when you could get by with as long as they respect me, I don't care if they like me. We need to develop our relationship with one another, with our members, and this is the better way for us to inspire them to run with our goal in achieving our mission. And finally, lastly, number 20, sacrifice is part of the deal. Of course, this is the penultimate lesson of all. The climax of the final battle is a struggle between Thanos and Iron Man. Thanos has the gauntlet and is about to snap his fingers and break down the universe at an atomic level. Then Iron Man lunges for the gauntlet and tussles with Thanos for a second or two before being brushed aside. When Thanos snaps his fingers, nothing happened. In that brief tussle, Iron Man was able to remove all the stones and attach them to his Iron Man suit. And to Thanos' declaration of "I am inevitable," Tony responds, "I am Iron Man." Then he snaps his finger, thus removing Thanos and his army from the universe. A single act of bravery that cost Tony his life and answers Cap's accusation in Avengers 1 that Tony wasn't the kind of guy who would make the big sacrifice for his team. In our leadership, brothers and sisters, in our role, we exist to ensure that our members has what they need to function: direction, resources, authorization, etc. Leadership is difficult, demanding work that will stretch and grow you. And sometimes you will have to sacrifice so that your team can succeed. You may not need to die like Iron Man, but sometimes it may feel like you actually did die. There you go, brothers and sisters. I hope that in what was shared tonight, we are able to identify with most, if not all, of the leadership lessons that we all can learn from the Avengers and see how the lessons are in fact applicable to our life in CFC. In the end, we do the things that we do in Corpus for Christ not to be heroes like the Avengers, but only as an expression of our love to God who created us and who loves us so much. We continue to voluntarily offer our time, talent, and treasure to accomplish Corpus for Christ's vision for God's greater honor and glory. Brothers and sisters, as you all meet tonight to assess the first half of the year, to assess what have been accomplished and what are the remaining to-dos from this point forward, we can yet again adopt another Avengers motto they use in Endgame: whatever it takes. Good night. May God be praised. I love you all 3,000 times.
Thank you, Iron Man.
Thank you very much, Brother Alex. That was a very unique, inspiring talk. Just for those who haven't watched the Avengers Endgame, or for those who are not following the movie, the Marvels, take note before you are able to understand the Endgame, the Marvels Avengers Endgame, you have to watch 22 other movies before that. But again, thank you very much again. Thank you. Let's thank Brother Alex by giving him a round of applause. Okay. All right. So there's other comments here that are DC fans, Brother Alex, and not Marvel fans.
So maybe next time we'll talk about this
There
hero.
you go. Okay. So